Playing Mad Max for the NES is like eating a Half Moon cookie covered in spackling compound and dog shit. No matter how you go at it, it's gonna leave a bad taste in your mouth. You know, just when I thought there was a movie that literally no video game company could fuck up, along comes Mindscape to prove me wrong yet again. Now, I think that the second Mad Max film, The Road Warrior, or Mad Max 2 in Australia, is a kick-ass action film. In fact, it's one of the best action films I've ever seen. The first Mad Max is okay in my opinion, and the third one ain't so great. But the second one would have made a terrific game in the right hands. Hell, if Mindscape couldn't come up with an original idea, then all I had to do was just combine the platforming and shooting of Journey to Silius with the driving of Spy Hunter, and voila, an instant hit. Oh, but what does Mindscape do? They crap out some crippled, clumsy, 9-day-old piece of butt fudge from their fat, stinking asses. Anyway, let's get into it. Mad Max for the NES. This opening crawl is very faithful to the beginning of the second movie, and if the game were as good as this part, then you really have something worth playing. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Since it takes a while to get through this, let me speed past this part. Talk about a weird opening screen, this game doesn't even have the words press start or anything to indicate how to begin. Okay, so that's not a deal breaker, but still, it's very weird. And enter password for more? For more what? Alright, so I'll give them credit for this much. At least they didn't make a super long password like in Simon's Quest or Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So anyway, let's get into the game itself. To begin, the graphics actually look pretty good for late-era NES. Then again, it did come out in 1990, so I don't know why the graphics wouldn't look this good. I like how they tried to recreate the whole washed-out desert post-apocalyptic look of the films. That looks pretty good, but there's just one problem. From what I've played of this game, there's only 3 types of levels. The driving levels in the desert, the mines, and the arena levels. And all the game does is either palette swap the desert, like in the second level, or it just changes around the design of the mine levels, so the graphics become very repetitive after a while. Worse yet, the sameness of the graphics makes it almost impossible to tell where the fuck you're going, much less where the fuck you are. Look at this shit. How can you tell one environment from another? It's all fucking desert and there's practically no landmarks to guide you. And as if the game hasn't pussy-whipped you into oblivion already, guess what? There's no fucking map! That's right, you can't buy a map, find a map, or hell even fucking steal a map. So let me get this straight, Mindscape. You expect me to run all the way around the fucking desert with no map and no way to figure out where the hell I have to go exactly, and then you make everything look exactly the fucking same. Brilliant, guys. Ingenious. Terrific idea. But then again, I should expect as much, considering these are the same assholes who made that fucking terrible police station level in the first Terminator game. And to add even more insult, look at this fuel meter. It's flashing only about a quarter of a tank of fuel, and this is the start of the game. They expect you to explore the whole desert and figure out exactly where you have to go on a fucking quarter tank of gas? And guess what happens when the gas runs out? You lose! Now you can buy gas near the beginning of this level, but then how would the game designers ever expect you to know that right off the bat? So essentially you just have to fail about 50 times or so before you figure out that you have to buy gasoline to get where you need to go. And even worse, when you start the arena level, you get a full tank of gas, no matter how little gas you had left when you got there. So why the fuck can't they give you a full tank of gas in the beginning of the game? Christ, I could spend the next 10 minutes just pointing out flaws in the game's basic setup. For example, why did they put a fuel meter on the main screen, but no damage indicator and no weapons indicator? It literally makes no fucking sense. To figure out how much damage your car sustained or how many weapons or supplies you have left, you have to push select. Not start, select. What sense does this make? Did anyone at Mindscape ever play a fucking video game at all? Almost every game pauses with start. But oh no, not Mindscape. You have to pause their game with select. The controls in this game are so fucking stiff that half the time you'll drive off the road without even meaning to. Not to mention the fact that if you push left or right, the car goes in a circle. It doesn't just turn lightly, no, you just keep spinning around and around like a fucking idiot. Also, there's no reverse, so you can't back up. If you press down, you'll just go in another circle again. You want an idea how bad the driving in this game is? Go out to your car, cut the brake line, slash the tires, bust up the steering column, tear out the carburetor, and stick a potato in the tailpipe. Then you'll know how bad it is. Add to the shitty controls the fact that fucking cars smash into you every 5 seconds and knock you off the road. So it's pretty much impossible to stay on the road unless you friggin' blow up every car in your way. But by doing that, you waste a shitload of dynamite that you need to destroy the barriers. And while I'm on the subject of dynamite, could they give you a worse weapon if they tried? You can't even control how far the dynamite goes. All you can do is just press the button and pray to God it hits whatever you're aiming at. So you're just driving around like some bomb-throwing Bolshevik, hurling fucking sticks at dynamite and praying to God it hits anything. Why couldn't they give you a shotgun to use against cars like in the movies? They can give you a shotgun in the mine levels, but oh no, they can't give you one in the driving levels. And why not, kids? Because that would mean Mindscape would actually have to be smart and consistent. And those are two qualities they clearly don't possess. And look at this fucking weapon. Is this a shotgun or a Klingon disruptor? Christ, the guy fucking disintegrates. The gameplay is a haphazard mix of the 3 Mad Max films combined with no real sense of order or coherence, not to mention no respect for the source material. Here, let me sum up the basic mission structure for you really quickly. You go up to the store and trade some food and water for gasoline. Then you go running around the desert like a fucking idiot looking for a mine. When you get to the mine, you go and collect more food and water so you can trade it for an arena pass. Now you might be asking, why the fuck do you need an arena pass? Well, you need this arena pass so you can get into the arena and fight more cars. What the fuck does this have to do with the movies? I have no goddamn clue, unless it's some kind of vague reference to Thunderdome. And I don't remember Max fighting a bunch of cars in an arena. The only thing he did fight in the arena was Master Blaster. Anyway, you have to destroy 30 cars and then you're allowed to escape the level, assuming you don't damage your car beyond repair, run out of fuel, fall into a pit, or die of boredom. Then you get to do the same shit all over again in the next level. So instead of playing an exciting game based off a terrific film, instead I'm reduced to crashing into cars, sliding into oil slicks, getting blown up by tire towers, and having fucking killer midgets try to give me a lethal blowjob. And what the fuck is up with all these goddamn midgets? Did I accidentally invade the fucking Shire? Is Mr. Frodo gonna come and suck my willy or what? Unless you love being bored out of your mind and frustrated beyond words, I would definitely give Mad Max for the NES a pass. So in conclusion, Mad Max is the kind of game that would make gargling with arsenic seem desirable. In fact, Mindscape did such a piss-poor job adapting the movies that if you only played the game and didn't see the movies, you'd think they were as bad as Battlefield Earth. Now I'll admit, they're not as bad as Ocean when it comes to adapting movies to games, but let me tell you something, with games like Mad Max, they're getting awfully close to Ocean in terms of pure shittiness. Let's just hope they don't cross that level. This is Film and Stuff signing off. Thanks for watching. And look at this fucking weapon. Is this a shotgun or a Klingon disruptor? Christ, the guy fucking disintegrates.